welcome back to my channel. I am super excited. I'm just excited to get to talk to you guys today. This is, I think, gonna be a really good video. We're gonna talk about some good stuff today. Sean and I are getting ready to go on a little trip here soon, which we're gonna be heading out to Charleston, South Carolina, which I will be making a little vlog of that trip for you guys. And I will have some more vlogs with the both of us coming soon. I did record the other day. We had a little date day, but I just didn't feel like I got enough good footage for you guys. So working on getting some more vlog footage to put together for you, but I'll be making some video, like I said, of our trip. But today I am excited because I'm gonna be talking about one of my favorite subjects and giving you guys hopefully some helpful tips and tricks, those of you that are planning a wedding, or maybe some of you are helping somebody plan a wedding. Yeah, I don't really know what to title this video. I was thinking my do's and don'ts of wedding planning, or how to enjoy your wedding day. I don't know, but anyways, we're just gonna talk because we're homies, and I'm gonna give you some of my top wedding planning advice, tips for you that hopefully will help you have, like I said, the best wedding day, and things I learned from mine and Sean's wedding, which was November 11th, 2017. So we have been married now, oh gosh, we're coming up on a year and a half, almost 2 years. And our wedding day, let me tell you, it was a party. It was so much fun. I literally still get messages from people that were at our wedding. They were like, your wedding was seriously the best wedding we've ever been to. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, those of you that are watching this that came to our wedding, but I will say we had one good party, okay? It was heck of fun. And a little background for you on myself. So I actually worked for a wedding DJ company for about, 4 years. I was the office manager for a local wedding DJ company, and they did over 250 weddings a year. And basically my role was I would sit with brides, and shout out to Sounds in Motion. Love you, DJ George. You're the best. Miss you. If you're getting married and you're looking for a good DJ, I'm telling you, call Sounds in Motion. They're the best. So, and you're in this area, obviously. But yeah, so I worked there for, like I said, about, I think it was four years, and I would sit with brides. I would do consultations with them. We would go over their day of. I would actually sit down and do a day of schedule with them. We'd pick out their music and all of that. So I already was a little bit immersed in wedding world. I also helped with one of the very first wedding photo booths in this region as well. So I would spend weekends out at weddings, working weddings, doing photo booths. And so very acquainted and familiar with weddings. So when it came time for mine and Sean's special day, there were definitely some things that I already had some experience and some knowledge on. And then of course there's things that you learn the day of. So going into our wedding, one of the top things I knew, which because of my experience in working in weddings, one of the top things that I knew to do was to hire the right DJ. I knew your DJ is gonna make or break your party because they're your announcer. They are responsible for helping to keep you on track, in your timing on track. And if you're getting married, you know that you just spent a whole bunch of money on a venue, and you have a time period of how long you are allowed with your package, whether that's 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever. And so I knew going into it, hiring the right DJ was important. I'm going to share some of the other things that I learned were really important as well. But I will definitely give that to you as my first tip is make sure you hire the right DJ. Do not hire your friend's homie, okay, that has I don't know, some sound equipment or something, but has the personality of a dirt clod. Because I'm telling you, that's what your wedding will end up like. You will have a wedding that pretty much sucks. So you'll have a wedding that will be remembered, but not the way you want it to be remembered. So yeah, definitely make sure you hire the right DJ. Do your homework. Find out what you're getting in your package with them. A great DJ is gonna sit down with you in an office, not just at Starbucks. And it really is important, and you don't really think about it, but they are responsible, like I said, for keeping the party going. In our wedding, literally nobody wanted to leave the dance floor at the end of the night. We danced our butts off, and it was so much fun. Oh, goodness. I'm telling you it's about it, goodness. Oh, goodness, call me first. and everybody wanted to keep going. Like they were so sad when it was time to cut it off. And I'm like, if y'all want to pay some extra money, we can hang out here for a little bit longer. But yeah, so definitely do your homework. Make sure that you find a great DJ company with a great reputation and read reviews, meet with them, sit down with them, ask them for some footage from some of the weddings that they've done. And I think also a great DJ is you're gonna see that on Instagram. If you go and you look at their Instagram, you're gonna see they should have a portfolio of their work on there, and you're gonna be able to see how the crowd responds to their DJing. So that's my first tip for you. My second tip for you in this arena of hiring is to hire a day of coordinator or a wedding planner. Seriously, like I understand weddings are expensive. I mean, I shouldn't say we did spend a lot of money, but thank you, Mom and Dad, and my mom and dad in love for all of the, the finances you guys put out for our wedding. We had 250 people. So yeah, our wedding was huge. And we could have just eloped and gone somewhere, but for us, we know so many, and it was such a big day between like Sean and I both, and just the people that we know, and like what a significant day it was that the both of us were getting married, that we had to have a big wedding. It just we weren't gonna be able to we get hate mail probably if we had tried to do a small wedding. So yeah, we had a big wedding, and originally I wasn't gonna hire a day of planner or coordinator, but the venue that I was using actually required that you have one. And so at that point, I had a family friend, actually, and here's my wisdom for you. You're gonna learn from this. Had a family friend who had been working in the wedding industry for a while, was actually wanting to launch out with her own wedding coordinating business, and it said, hey, I'd be willing to help with your coordinating. And I kind of had an idea of what I wanted. Now that I look back, I'm like, I had no idea what I wanted. But at that time, when her and I were talking, I thought I knew what I wanted for our wedding day. So I thought, I could do most of the planning, and I could just have her be more of a day of coordinator type of thing. And so we had a couple of, it's actually I think our second meeting at the venue, and I was mortified because we just weren't gelling, we'll just say that. And we just weren't on the same page, and our personalities were not gelling, and I was getting irritated and frustrated. And you especially don't want to have that with an extended family friend, and that puts way more stress on you, because then you feel like you can't say the things that you need to say because they're a family friend or they're one of your close friends. So I will say, one of the biggest things I learned, do not use a family friend or a family member when it comes to your planning or coordinating. Go with somebody. It is worth the money. I am telling you, if there is something that you budget for, my top budgeting was food, a wedding planner, and my DJ. Those were, I knew if I have those, we're gonna have a great party. And at that point, I'm like, I can't do this. And so I ended up calling around. I looked up some local, some wedding planners. So we were getting married up near Sacramento. So I was looking up some planners in that area, and I came across Jen Roberts, who, if the heavens could part right now and angels could sing, that is how I would describe Jen. Seriously, and if you're watching this, Jen, I love you. Thank you for giving Sean and I the best wedding day ever of our whole lives. Jen was and is seriously an angel. And I call her and I'm like, hey, I have this situation. I need a planner. Would you be able to take me on my day? And thankfully that was, I think, her last Saturday for this season was our wedding. And so she was able to take us on as clients. And I looked at the different package pricing, and for you, maybe you don't need a wedding planner. Maybe you kind of already have all of that figured out, which I would recommend you kind of figure out what you want, because planning your wedding is a lot of work. And if you're going to be doing a lot of DIY stuff, there's a ton of things you need to plan for, and you need to know, who's going to clean up your food, who's going to, set everything up. There's a lot of details when planning a wedding. So if you're having a small wedding, it's 60 people, and that's something, what decorations you want, where you're going to get your linen, all of that stuff. do that. Most planners will offer day of coordinating as well. For me, I saw the price difference in coordinating and planning, and it really wasn't that big of a deal. Like, wasn't that much. I mean, it was obviously a price difference, but we ended up going with partial planning instead of full planning, since we were kind of already in the middle of planning our wedding. And Jen came on and just, oh my gosh, like I said, total angel, took care of everything. And that's one of the great things about a planner as well, is they have connections. They work with so many vendors that usually they're gonna be able to get you the best price on stuff versus you trying to do it yourself. So the money you think you're saving on the front end by, you know, just going with day of coordinating and DIYing, you actually can probably save more if you just do the partial planning, because you get vendor discounts, which is a huge perk that we actually got through using Jen. And so, you know, our linens, we got a discount. We got a discount on all of our, you know, our silverware and our plates. And that was huge. And I'll tell you, the moment where I realized that I had made the best decision of my life in going with Jen was the day that my venue, okay, let's just talk about this for a minute. I had picked this beautiful venue. Beautiful venue. I won't tell you where it's at because I don't want to out them, but I was so excited. I mean, we had looked for a venue, and I had originally wanted this one venue, it's called the Old Sugar Mill, but they weren't available. And so I found this other venue that had similarities to it. It was kind of a warehouse feel, exposed brick. We wanted a moody, kind of romantic feeling. That was what I was going for our wedding. And so found this other venue, absolutely beautiful. That was the one we decided to go with. Well, a month, you just heard me. 1 month before our wedding, I get a phone call that our wedding venue was shut down by the city for some code violations. They were a newer venue, and so I think there was just some stuff that maybe they just didn't know that they were supposed to have, and they were shut down and were not able to host a wedding. And I get a call while I'm shopping from Jen, my wedding planner, and she's like, Simone, I don't want you to freak out. I have so-and-so on the line, and I want you to know I already have some options for you. We're gonna work this whole thing out. And then that's when I was told that our venue had shut down. And Jen was like, I already called some other venues to try and get you in, and I have a hold actually right now on the Old Sugar Mill, which I don't know like what happened, because they were booked for our day when we were looking into going with them. They were booked. So it was like, you know, that's why we had to go with another venue. But God loves me and was like, you know, honey, we're gonna give you your first choice for your wedding. And that's what I got. And that would not have happened. I would have been probably in a ball of tears panicking. I called Sean, he thought somebody died. And I was like, our venue shut down. And he's like, calm down. Like, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, that is one of the biggest reasons why I say hire a wedding planner, because you never know what's going to happen. And having somebody to shoulder that stress for you, whew, let me tell you, her telling me, I already put a hold on it. If you want it, it's yours. And of course I was like, yes, that was my first choice of a venue. And I don't know how Jesus worked this whole thing out, but we're gonna go with it. And we were able to have our wedding at this beautiful venue, the Old Sugar Mill. And yeah, and we were able to get all of our money back at the other venue. So that was awesome. Yeah, so second tip for you, make sure you hire a wedding planner or a day of coordinator, at least a day of coordinator, because the day of your wedding, you do not need to be worrying about all of the details. You need somebody else to shoulder that. You're spending money. This is your wedding day, okay? Like, don't be cheap. All right, and I get it. You want to save money, pick up some extra shifts, save some extra money, get a day of coordinator. You will thank me later, promise you that. All right, continuing with our important hires here, might as well just mention food as well. And I'm just gonna give you a tip. Get food that people will eat, okay? Like, look, I get it. You're trying to, you know, I don't know if you're trying to plan like a Kim Kanye, like wedding of the year, and you're gonna get duck parfait. I don't even know what that is. But, you know, look, most of your guests, they want it hot and they want flavor, okay? Hot and flavor. That's really what you need to look for. Is it coming out hot, all right? And is there a ton of flavor? If you can nail those two things, Look, it doesn't matter if it's chicken, if it's steak, if it's green beans, if it's hot and there's flavor, your guests will be happy. Because I'll tell you what, they'll remember if your food was cold and it was bland. And because I've been to a lot of weddings, I ate a lot of wedding food working photo booths, and I'll tell you, I remembered like, probably not gonna go with them because it's cold and it tastes like it just came, you know, off of an airplane. Tastes like airplane food. So when it came to planning our wedding, again, this is a big thing for Sean and I. We're both kind of foodies, and Sean, especially with like temperature, he does not like cold food. And we had every intention, and we did. Let me tell you, we ate at our wedding. That's another tip wrapped up in this one for you. Make sure you eat the day of your wedding. Don't be one of those girls that's like, oh, I don't want my dress to. Just eat. Eat the food. You paid, you know, you sold your kidney to get the food for, I'm just kidding. Eat the food, all right? Like, you'll be happy. You know, I was so thankful that I didn't overeat, okay? But I actually enjoyed my wedding food. I took the time to sit and eat with Sean, and I'm really glad I did that. But when it came to picking our food vendor, we went to, the first tasting we went to was it the first tasting we went to that we ended up going with? I think it was. So the first tasting we went to was kind of like a farm to table type of place, and we had picked, I think it was some sort of like a steak option with like, I think a chimichurri sauce or something. I want to say that was it. And then it was a fried chicken. Oh, you heard your girl. Yeah, fried chicken. And what was cool was they prepared it the way that they would on the day of the wedding. So they were like, what you're tasting is, this is how it's gonna be prepared day of. And this was actually sitting in a, what are those things called? Like, not a serving platter, use your word, Simone. It was actually sitting in a chafing dish. So they were like, this is exactly how it's gonna taste day of. And they weren't very far away from our venue location either. And, you know, I looked them up and they had really good reviews. Of course, with any place you're gonna look up, there's gonna be some bad reviews. There were some bad reviews, but when we went and we tasted, oh my gosh, literally the flavor. That's all I can tell you. And and we had I just want our wedding food like all over again right now. It was the best. Like, listen, I love food. Okay. But we had a pasta. That's what we did. We did, I think it was a steak, a chicken, and we had a pasta dish, and it was Alfredo, and they cooked it in like bacon grease or something. Again, I'm telling you, you ask Sean, ask anybody at our wedding, our food was it was the best. And so we went to a second tasting, and it was kind of like, I don't know, I think it was like a chicken piccata or something we tasted, and Sean was like, nah, dog. There's a dog going crazy as I'm saying that next door. Anyways, yeah, Sean was like, nah, I ain't eating that. We ate the rest of it, and we were like, oh, it's good. And then we were like, we're going with our first choice. So that's what we ended up going with. Oh, this video is gonna get so long because I love weddings so much that I don't know how to give you all of my tips in one video. I think this is gonna be part one. I think we're gonna do part one. I'm gonna have to come back to this. We're gonna do part two. This is part one today. We're gonna do part two because I just can't contain all of my wisdom for you in one video. Okay, so part one today. We'll do part two next week because I just don't want you guys to be sitting here for 45 minutes. Okay, so we've talked about DJ, super important. We talked about planner coordinator, A game, must have. We talked about food, very important. Basics, but very important. Okay, here we go. Give you some more. Guest list. Invite people that you actually have some sort of a relationship with. I mean, obviously there's gonna be like that aunt that you haven't seen in a while that, you know, you gotta invite them to the wedding. But, you know, for Sean and I, which shows how many people we know, like 230 people invited to our wedding. But just remember, it's your day. Decide who you want to spend it with. If there's somebody that you know is going to cause a ton of drama, don't invite them. It's your day. You get to choose who gets to be there and who doesn't. You're paying that bill, all right? So just let you know now, okay? Know that don't feel guilty. Don't let anybody else feel guilty. There were people that on both of our sides, you know, that were like, you didn't invite so-and-so. And I'm like, I haven't seen them since I was 8 years old. They're not a family member. And no, I'm not inviting them to my wedding. So yeah, I guess that's a really boring tip for you. But guest list, very important to know that you don't have to invite everybody. and that's okay. All right, my next tip for you is, I guess, more of a reassurance tip, and this is just to listen to your gut, okay? Planning a wedding can get so overwhelming, and there's so many things coming at you. You gotta really know, you gotta know what is worth it to spend money on and what's not worth it. For me with invitations, I knew I wanted a beautiful invitation. I also knew I could kind of do that on my own, and I actually downloaded like an invitation from Etsy. I put in our information, I took it to our local print shop, had them print them off, and they were beautiful. And I did the same thing. I was able to download a template off Etsy for the envelopes, took it to the print shop, had them print the envelopes. Boom, bam, saved a ton of money. So that was one thing. I was like, you know, do I want velvet napkins? Or do I want like, that's gonna like make my wedding photos look like baller? Or do I wanna spend all this money on, you know, like, I don't know, some crazy paper for my wedding invitation? They just need to know where to go. So, and it looked pretty. So I saved money there. So know where to spend your money, you know what to say no to. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't feel like you've got to do everything. You can get really crazy when planning a wedding and go overboard, and it's just not necessary. And don't compare your wedding to anybody else. You know, do what's gonna, you know, I guess this whole spark joy thing. I haven't even really watched that Netflix series, but I hear everybody talking about, I'm doing what sparks joy. It was a completely different subject, but when planning your wedding, make decisions about your wedding that are gonna spark joy, that are gonna bring you, you know, they're gonna make you so happy the day of your wedding. And really remember, the day of your wedding, it's about you and your significant other. It's not about anyone else. And make sure you remember that, because you can get so caught up in, like I said, all of the little details that you get really overwhelmed, and you just gotta remember to breathe. It's gonna be great. It goes by so fast. We're definitely gonna have to make a part 2, because I don't even know how long this video is right now. Hope you guys are hanging with me. But yeah, it goes by so fast. One of the things that I wish I would have done on the day of our wedding is I wish I would have taken some time by myself in the morning, which I did. I drank some coffee, I sat in bed. It was really hard to sleep the night before, but I wish I would have taken some time that morning, or like after getting ready. I don't know, just at some point before all the chaos, and actually taken a little video and kind of talked through how I was feeling. Like, I would have loved to be able to watch that back and relive the feeling of that day in that moment. Like, maybe some of you are like, that's scary, but for me, I wish I would have, you know, just taken a little video of myself and been like, okay, girl, it's your wedding day. Like, it's the day you've been waiting for. And just kind of like, I don't know, like talked my unmarried self talking to my married self. I've actually been thinking about doing a video, what I would tell my 20-year-old self. If that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments below, and I will get a video made on that subject. But yeah, I think today we're gonna cut it off, and I'm gonna do a part 2 to all of this, because there's so much information. And if there's questions you guys have, like specific wedding planning questions, let me know in the comments, and I can include that in the second video. I might do a Q&A. I think I'm gonna throw a Q&A up on Instagram too, and ask for maybe some more like things you guys would want me to talk about. Because like I said, I pretty much did everything I told you in this video, and that's what made my wedding so smooth. And of course, there's all these other little details, but I was able to really just focus on enjoying my day. So yeah, let me know and we'll talk some more. But I'm gonna do a part 2, a part 1 this week, part 2 coming next week. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, I'll see you in part 2 of my wedding planning, have the most best wedding, amazing day ever video. Love you guys. See you later.